when we went into this, it wasn't with any long-term thing in mind. That would have been ludicrous of us both and senseless, and we're not senseless. We're reasonably intelligent and suddenly experienced enough to... That's him at the step.
Now you go in the bathroom quiet, and I'll explain without words. What, Will?
Sound. Footsteps on the stairs.
Okay. That sounds like footsteps of a responsible man. Hey, isn't that big cast that we preview Monday?
Mr. Marshall feels it can be handled by the stage manager.
Funeral bake week. This is amateur night in Dixie.
I have a more interesting suggestion. Stay in character and describe the action.
Oh, let's give it a try. Will there be script or do we improvise?
Like it happens.
Do I say he knocks at the door?
He knocks at the door, knocks and pounds at the door.
So I try to stop Ty.
Yeah.
But Ty lets him in, and Ty?
I let him in, and he does this slow take. And then he...
Calls me.
Puna.
Yeah.
And I know that's Spanish for whore, and so I punch him. He says, expelling breath, so I punch him again, and he says, again, going backwards. He descends down the stairs backwards onto his flat ass. And, she can't see the grease ball's okay, but I stop her, and I shut the door, and I lock it. And there's a big commotion on the street.
And he calls policia!
And you sit calmly down at the table and roll a joint as if nothing at all had occurred.
Why would I do that?
You wouldn't, but he would. Occurrences like this are practically nothing in the boot carré. Why, after midnight, the police sirens and the ambulance sirens are a continual serenade.
And I...
Take it less calm.
I don't want to cry again.
Don't. Have it hit. You keep metaxas. Have it hit him metaxas while he rolls the joint.
Still no props for this bit. It's all very
Stay in
done.
character. You forgot to shout.
I'll holler out the window. Oh, Viva Shea!
My time!
Oh, Viva Shea Guevara! And this banana man. Oh, sorry. This coffee man from Brazil shouts back from the street. Moeto, chinga zu madre! And I'll holler down. Now, Viva! Moeto your ass, grease ball! Oh, then I act like nothing has occurred?
Yes, you would. He would. Smoking the joint.
And I'm sort of thunderstruck because I never would have guessed that Che knew the name of Che Guevara, let alone that Che existed. You see, I was part of the movement a little in New York before the whole cathedral thing that opened my eyes to it all.
Babe, there's a lot about me you never knew.
I guess that's...
You reckon you're right? Then you're right. I never asked many questions, and neither did you. We just accepted each other until this particular Sunday when Chicken Little was rocking and the sky faded. Well, the police gonna come. It's getting dim in the room, and it's almost dark. We don't talk. I smoke my joint, and I offer it to her. She takes the hits and coughs. And I look at her steady in the room getting dark, and I see her clear. She turns her face. So I walk that way to look at her from that side. And she turns her face to the other. And she's crying about Sam. And the black man's playing piano at the Four Deuces around the corner. An oldie. Right? Something of that atmosphere. Something like... Like old time, having you to talk with, like old time, having you to walk with, and it's still a thrill. Jay, you're a sinner, ain't you?
What?
How thin are you?
I don't know.
Well, sometimes you walk a block, and you can't go any further.
I suppose I'm a yellow cab girl. With limousines, aspirations which you blasted.
Cut the small talk, babe. But let's live in the battle. Another hit? Huh?
It doesn't seem likely that my checking account or savings account is likely to be increased by the bazillion. How about yours? Say in case of heavy prolonged hospital expenses without Blue Cross or whatever. Both of us being freelancers, drifters. Could you afford heavy prolonged hospital expenses since I can?
Tell me, Jane. Whose hospital expenses?
Well, after all, if you're interested, it hasn't been just lately that I've lost weight on energy, but for more than a year in New York. I went to this fatherly old doctor and I said to him, and I went for routine blood tests, blood chemistry, you know, but no convincing diagnosis. You know, I think they don't, unless you really demand it. And even then, they won't sometimes if they're sure you're not pretending. Evasions. I was fed of invasions and pick-up injections. I was going abroad to see new fashion trends in Rome and Paris, so I said to this fatherly old doctor, I said, no more foolishness, please. You take this piece of paper and this ballpoint pen and you write down in black and white what's wrong with me that I don't know, in case I take sick abroad and I'm completely ignorant of. He stared at me for a moment or two, maybe more. And I stared back at him without blinking, and he knew I meant it. I did. And then he smiled. Professionally, but sadly. I wrote it out on the piece of paper and pen that I'd stuck in his hand.
The downstage in the light.
Sorry. I don't know the name of it. Some blood thing and progressive. Rather fast at my age and no cure. I think I had a remission when I met you. A definite remission. My God. What a prayer. You, me, here. Like the world stopped and turned backwards, or like we entered another universe. Then
Us?
the unnatural time has started again. I went to Ochner's for a blood count, and it turns out that it's got worse. It's close to collapse. There are all the clinical details. Are you satisfied with them? Honestly. Well, that's Barrette. Let her in, will you? Isn't it nice how cats go away and always come back and you don't have to worry about them? So unlike humans. Give her her supper. Give her a can of Puss in Boots. Mackley's her choice.
Jay? It's getting dark. I gotta get dressed now.
I know.
Only 4 grades of school and, well, no respectable background.
I know.
You know nothing? But
I know. He dresses now. Quickly, but guiltily. As if I caught him at some shameful thing.
I'm trying to think. I mean, she's throwing a lot at this mighty country real quick.
I should have told you nothing. And just slipped away. These Brazilians are sentimental, you know. I could have told him that I was dying, and he would have put me in the hospital suite, in the best suite to do it. Among fresh flowers daily. You'd have visiting privileges. I'd introduce you to him as my kid's brother from Friars Point, Miss. He'd try to comfort you with a 22-carat, 18-jewel movement Swiss wristwatch.
Can you cut the small talk? Huh? No, we all gotta cut some slack. Now, listen. You don't gotta sweat.
So,
Not with me.
can you give me enough remission? One that lasts. And if it doesn't last long, can you put me in the astronomical suite reserved for the VIPs?
Is that what you want? The astronomical hospital suite? Oh, here, with me, in the skyline.
You here with the strippers.
Well, babe, we'll cut some slack with you, huh? It's getting dark, and I'm dressed.
Well, do your zip up then. Unless you're now in the show.
Love.
Love's the old thing, love. It's traveled a long way.
Well, it still has a long way to go. Well, I hate to leave you alone, but
I'm not alone. The cat's here. Oh, she's very comforting with a room with a skylight. And this city's on the sea level. And sometimes those fleecy gray-white clouds come so close to the roof of the Claudia that if you're slightly snatched and have a gallery, you feel like you could touch them. And little bits of them would come up in your hand like cotton candy.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I'll get Cupid, take over at midnight, and I'll come back with some pizza and a bottle of vino. And we'll have a quiet celebration. Candace? Huh? Now, rest.
But Ty,
What, baby?
how presumptuous of me, how conceited to think that I, Jane, out of everyone living, isn't scared of. Can't even speak for her.
Downstage. Hold it, please. I'm afraid we've lost our director.
Yes, Mr. Laybows has to take the 110 to East Hampton.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
I think you're the most despicable.
Please!
I have got to say it. I'm going to say it. This old derelict pretends he can't see well because he's blind drunk, and he has the insolence
Oh,
to...
please, I've just had a very emotional scene.
I know.
Oh.
Take a minute. Now, Hillary, you can say it without shouting.
Mr. Laybows tells me you consider me incompetent as a stage manager. I happen to have made a rather distinguished career as an actor. I have worked with Mr. Laybows in 6 productions, and he does not want me to quit this one. But I shall have to turn in my resignation if you go on attempting to undermine my reputation by your stupid, sodden slanders.
Make him stop!
Honey, let him hang it all out. Now, Hillary, I know I'm not always as discreet as I should be.
Ah.
But what slanders do you mean?
That as an actor, I merely carried a spear in a couple of Catherine Cornell productions, that for one. It happens to be that I supported Miss Cornell in 3 productions, including her Cleopatra, and it also happens that I received the Clarence Derwent Award, the first one given for Mr. Browning and Barrett's. Stand by, yes, but I gave 26 performances.
That's very impressive.
Are you calling me a liar, you old derelict?
No, I'm calling you nothing at all in spite of much provocation because I have notes to give. And this hysteria of yours is holding us up.
Please, make them stop.
Oh, notes. He says he has notes to give
Mr.
us.
Les Bowes left a page of notes for you. His chauffeur came in the
I
stage
hate
door.
to be bitchy, but
Can you help it?
no. You may be Mr. Les Bowes' asshole buddy from public school in England, but still you look to me and act to me like an outpatient from Bellevue that ought to be back in. Now get the fuck off my stage while I exercise my right to get the performance note.
You despicable. Oh!
That's your curtain line, baby. So use it and get off.
I do see like this and I'm exposed to this
It's
and...
just show business, honey. Now about that curtain. Let's talk about that curtain. Hillary, I do say things, so go take a breather at Sardi's. About that curtain. It may be effective. It could be. But it's just a curtain. And we can't settle for that, can we? Jane, are you with me?
Yeah.
A play's not stopped by a curtain. I mean, if it's a true thing, it continues the way that life does after sleep. It comes out of the night stop and goes into the next day. Maybe it goes on in the minds and the hearts of the audience after. So look, you're an incomparable delinquent. She's bright enough to know that. You're weak, addictive, purposeless, right? Oh, attractive, appealing, a cut above what you do, or she wouldn't have had you with her. But you're employed by a gangster that's ripped off the show's headliner because she defied him. And hell, you might go next, since you know about it and know she's not in Spain. You're holding goods, hot goods for your buddies. You said you'll be back at midnight with pizzas and vino. Ooh, that's his immediate impulse. But Ty's impulsive, and his impulses don't always stink. An accident brought you two together. You're strongly attracted by his innocent delinquency, his boyish appeal. Ty, are you with me?
He is.
He's employed by gangsters, the mob, that's ripped off the show's headliner because she defied Fat Charlie's orders. And how do you know he mightn't go next since he knows about it and knows she's not in Spain? He's holding goods, comes home nude, falls across the floor, needle mark in his arm, smeared all over with lipstick. You tell her not to sweat dine with you, that you'll be home at midnight with pizza and vino and celebrate. What? Death? Hers coming soon? The skylight's not blue. It's turned black as the piano man sings, so how certain are you that his immediate impulse will hold despite his weak, purposeless power? What are you now?
I am the law.
No, you're with the cat, as you said, and Anna was off in accompanying presents. And what do?
This.
And say,
Barrett.
and look up into the skylight with a question. Then out into the house, your eyes as dark as...
The skylight.
Yes, that's the true curtain. You know, I think this bridge was erected with homicidal intent. Old cats know how to fall.